All right, today what we want to do is make sure that we are properly formatting our Google Docs so it is an MLA format. And we're going to start right from the very beginning where we need to open up a document. I'm going to do mine right from the little icon here. Click on Docs. You can, of course, do it right from Drive if you're there. And open up a blank document. However you get there, that is absolutely fine. The first thing that we want to do is to make sure our margins are all correct. So we will go up to File, go down to Page Setup, and double check to make sure everything is in 1 inch. It should be that way by default. It's one of the things that Google Drive does do proper MLA as a default. So we click OK after we check it. It's always good to check. Then the next thing we want to check is this is called our ribbon up here, our document ribbon. They do not have the proper default font, okay? They now have Arial in Google Docs as their default font, and we need to change that. It needs to be Times New Roman because that's proper MLA. It also needs to be 12 font, okay? The default starts a document out in 11, so we need to increase that. Alrighty. The other thing we need to do, we definitely want to make sure that it's left aligned. Okay, always do that. And we need to change the line and paragraph spacing. Okay, the default is 1.15. We don't want that. We want it to be double. Okay, and the other thing that we want to check, in addition to after double here, is we also want to make sure that we don't have an extra space after each paragraph. Okay, so that's not checked off. Sometimes when you go on, it'll be checked off, add space after paragraph. We don't want it to do that. So this way it's fine right here. We should be good to go. Alrighty, so we have the correct font, correct size, and we are in double space. We should be perfect in regards to that. Now we do need to add in a multi-page document, we do want to have in the upper right-hand corner in our header, we want it to have our last name followed by a page number. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. The way I had always done it is to go up to Format and click on Headers and Footers and then go through the process. I learned today there's an easier way. If I just go up into the top margin of my document and I double-click twice in that space, it will automatically add a header. Okay, now it will align it over to the left, but for our purposes, we want it to be on the right side. So we go right up to the ribbon, and instead of it being left aligned, we're going to go to right align. I'm going to type my last name, add a space. Now don't enter the number just yet because you want this header to automatically number every new page you start. So if after you type your last name, you give it a space, you then go down to this options drop-down menu and you click on page numbers. And you have it start at number 1. We want it to show on our first page and we apply this. So now it's going to add the number 1 right after my last name for page 1. Okay, if I put my cursor down in the regular field of the document and say I entered down, I could double check to make sure it's going to do this for page 2. And there it is. And it would subsequently continue to do that for as many different pages as I had. All right, now at this point, we definitely need to add our MLA heading. So MLA heading is going to be, of course, the student's name. I'll use my maiden name there, followed by your teacher's name. You can put Mrs. BK, that's fine. If you want to type it out, it's Bodnar, I need to spell it correctly, Keimel, but Mrs. BK is fine too. Our class name. Okay, if you want to put the period, that's fine also. And then you want to have the date. Now, MLA format is a little particular with how they like their date to appear, and we do need to have it properly formatted. So the way they do it is not the normal way we would write our date. They do the day first. So say today is the 3rd. I'm going to put a 3 there, followed by, of course, I do a space, followed by the month, capitalize, March, another space, followed by the year, 2022. Whoop, little too many there. All right. And then I hit return. Now I only hit return once after my header. I don't hit it numerous times to create additional space. Everything in an MLA document is just regular double space, not multiple double spaces, just one double space. At this point in time, if you want to add a title to your document, you certainly can. Your title should always be centered. So I would go up to my ribbon here and I would center a line and I would create a title for my document. Now, one thing with your titles, make them sort of meaningful, put some thought into them. Your titles should never be in bold, they should never be italicized, and they should never be underlined. I mean, of course, if within that title you are using the name of a book or the name of a poem, then that would be an exception. You would italicize the title of the book, or you would put in quotation marks the title of the poem. But for this particular essay, I'm not going to title this essay The Odyssey, okay? Because that's silly. That is already the title of the epic poem we just read. Okay, I can't use that. Homer wrote that. That's already been done. I need to think of something original. I'm not just going to call it the Odyssey essay. That's boring. That's ho-hum. What was there was a particular analogy that I heard somebody use in regard to boring titles. It's like if you go to the ice cream parlor and you want to get a scoop of ice cream. You get a scoop of ice cream and you just get one scoop. It's okay. It's just a scoop of vanilla. But if you put like a cherry on top of that scoop of ice cream, it now turns into a sundae and it's something special. You want your title to be something special, not just a single scoop of ice cream. Sorry. So think of something that might be meaningful in regard to your title. I mean, if I were to use the Odyssey as part of the title, I would need to have that in italicized. The rest would not be. So, say I wanted to say the Odyssey, a new crew begins. Okay, so say that's my creative title. Notice how I have everything capitalized except for small words like we typically do with titles. All right. Because this is the title of the novel, I do need to italicize this portion, but the rest doesn't get italicized. It's just in regular font. So that's my title. Okay. I hit return just once. Now I need to make sure I move my cursor all the way back over to left align. And this is where I'm going to begin to write my introduction. With every paragraph that you have in your essay, you do want to indent, and you can force your document to do that automatically by just going up to the top and right here where you see the ruler. If you pull the rectangle up at the top and you pull the rectangle over, I usually do it to the first hashtag, 0.5, okay? It will now start every paragraph when I get to the end of a paragraph. So say I am typing my paragraph here. All right, so I have typed my entire first paragraph, of course, ended it with period. And all I need to do, because it's the end of my paragraph, I just hit enter once. And it will automatically, as you can see, indent the next paragraph. So this is where you begin your second paragraph. So do not be tempted to do multiple returns and add an extra double space. That's not correct. Same thing up here. We don't have multiple double spaces after the heading or after the title. That's really just kind of you trying to manipulate the length of your essay. It isn't necessary. We know how long your essays are. We know how many words are going to be in them. We know how long they need to be. No extra amount of space or manipulation of margins or all of that is going to change the actual length of your essay. Just follow the MLA guidelines, and that way you'll get all the points for those sections. All right. When it comes time after you've written your entire essay and it is then time for you to add your works cited, you are going to do that on a separate page. So, say you are 3 pages long into your essay. You've typed and typed and typed. You probably won't have 3 pages. But say maybe actually you end in the middle of the 3rd page and this is your final paragraph. And you have it all typed out and you're done here. You don't start with your works cited right away on that page. You always want to go to a fresh page. So you either just want to, tab down till you're at the top of it, or you can just add a page break. And when it's time to add your works cited, you are going to center and title that page works cited. Okay, and then you'll hit return. Then you'll go back to a left alignment. And then you will actually be pulling your works cited off of Noodle Tools and pasting it directly here into this document. And I will work with all of you next week and show you exactly how to do that in a separate video, so you have everything formatted correctly. And we let Noodle Tools do the work for us on formatting everything and doing the proper indentation alignments. So I hope this was helpful, and it was a quick and easy review for you of MLA format and the things that you need to do. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.